Welcome to Void Byte. Today we are going to learn about data types and variables in Java. How to declare it, how to name it, what is scope, etc. etc. As you can see that int is a data type. Let me adjust some. Yeah, this int is a data type. Data type, as the name suggests, it will give information about what type of variable you are declaring. And a variable means a container of a programming language which act as a container for which stores data in the memory. Now, there are mainly data types are mainly classified in two types. First, primary, and another is secondary. Primary data types are that type of data types which does not depend on another data types like int, double, char, boolean, float, etc. etc. And another is secondary data types which depends on primary data types like strings, which depends on char, and array, class, objects, etc. Here is a demo of our data types. Let me just print this. Now let me print. You can open the terminal by clicking these sections, this terminal and new terminal. You can see the shortcut Control Shift plus backticks. Now we compile our code. This Javik means it call the compiler Javik, which compiled our .java file into .class file. You can see here. Now complete this. Now you can see that integer value, decimal value, character, and true. Now let me explain the different types of data types. This int will store the only integer values and does not store any decimal values. Double can store decimal values but more precise than float values. Let me float value. You should remember that you have to remember that if you are declaring a float value, that should contain f, small f, after the value. Understand? Okay. Let me print the float value. Now you can see that the float value is visible here. Here. Okay. These are the primary data types. Now string s is equals to hello world. This is secondary data type. String is a secondary data types which can store sentence or words, etc. etc. Let me print. Now you can see here string value is visible here. This system.out.println is used to print the output, this input in the console, as you can see the output here. Now you can also declare the variables without initializing them. Just like here you can see this int variable is declared without initializing it. Now let me print it. System. This will cause a error in our code, but I want to show you the error. No, you can see that the data type variable Java, and here it is shown the error, not initialized. You can see this error. Now we have to comment this line because it will cause errors in our code. Now I will show you the rules how to declare a variable. Rules rules to declare variables. Rule number one. Rule variable name must start with a letter, underscore, or dollar sign. Must start with a letter, underscore, or dollar sign. You can't initialize a variable with a number. You can't do it. It will cause an error. Let me show you the error. Int 123 s equals to 30. You can show that here the red line is shown. Now you can see that the errors. Statement string error cannot be converted. Now let me run this. You can see the error, not a statement error. See this error. Let me comment this. This also is an example that you can't use special characters except these underscore and dollar sign in our variable. You should also do not use a space declaration. It also cause a error, compilation error. Case sensitive, as I have suggested in my first video of that the Java is a case sensitive. As the name, as this example shown here, my is m is small here and m is in a uppercase. You can see there is no compilation error shown, and it will run easily. There's, you can see that this my variable and my variable, both the case are front, but you can see that it will run easily. You cannot use a reserve word like int, if, while, do, for in this declaration, like here int. This will cause error. If I use, if I use dollar sign, this will work easily. This will not cause any compilation error. Let me show you. See, there is no compilation error. If I remove this dollar sign, this will cause compilation error. See, this compilation error. Understand? And I also use underscore. This, see this also will not cause any compilation error. Now let me, you can also use a camel case. Camel case means if you want to use multi-name variables like my variable as shown here, this is camel case. This is camel case declaration, which one word has a first word will start with small under small case, and after all the words will start with uppercase. As you can see here. Now let me just give you some. I also personally suggest that you use a name of a variable which describe your data you want to store in it. Always use that type of name. Like I want to store the age of a person, then I will use int age, not this one. I will not use this int x. This will cause a confusion to the other coders that you use a different, yani you use different words for which describe your work of that variable easily. Now let me introduce to scope of a variable. Scope of the variable means where the variable can be used. Like if I initialize these variables in these curly brackets, then these variables can't be used outside these curly braces. If I want to declare this in outside the variable, I can declare that, because scope of x is finished here. I can declare this outer scope. And also you can't name the same variable, two variables, different variables with the same name. Like I want to declare int x is equals to 20. This will cause an error, compilation error, because it is already in the scope and it is already declared. If I want to change the value of x, I have to use like this: x is equals to 20. Like this I want to, if I want to change the variable. Understand? Yes, the variable's name can be length of any, like you can name randomly or just like big name of the variable. Like I want to name it like age of my subscriber study. Like I want to declare a large name of variable, I can declare it. There is no compilation issue or any other issue. Proceed to typecasting. In Java also support typecasting, which means converting one data type to another data type. Like I want to convert a string into integer, or I want to convert integer into string, or double into integer, or integer into double. That I can do it. Just like give me example. Wait a second. See this example of double converting it to int and int converting it to double. See this. I have declared a int value 10, which I converted into double. You can convert into like this. If I want to convert into string, and I will declare a string value, int value of string, or in case of string you have to convert it like this. This method is a default method given by the java.lang. These libraries give us this method called value of, which gives us the value of an integer into string. Let me print this. Let me just remove the unnecessary comment, unnecessary consoles, that you can see the result easily. See this integer value is 10 and double value. See this 10.0. This will show you that the value has been converted into double. If this value is not in double, then the integer value is shown like this. Integer value does not contain decimal points, so that it shows like exact integer value. Double values like will show like this 0.00, and float value also show like this, as you can see. Primary data types can be converted like this, but in secondary data types we have methods. We have to build our own methods to convert into any other secondary data types. Now let's recap in 1 or 2 minutes. We have studied about data types and variables. So far we have covered variable, which stores data, data types, which define what kind of data you are storing into variables, naming rules. Rule number 1, you can use any digits, you can use any letter or word, but you can't start with any number or special character except dollar and underscore. And then scope, you have seen the scope in the variables, like in the scope you can use that variable. Outside that scope you can't use that variable, it will cause error. And there is one more concept, which is constant. Constant variables, which I forgot to constant variable. If we want to constant variable which can't be changed afterwards, like I want to change a value of a int variable which does not change. If I want to declare a variable which does not change afterwards, like pi, value of pi, which does not change afterwards, like I want to use in my program, like let me give an example. Float pi equals to 3 final variable. This will call, as you can see, this will cause an error, cannot assign a value to the final variable pi. That means this variable can't be changed afterwards. If you want to change, you can't be able to change. That's it, bus. This final keyword is used to initialize constant variables. Typecasting, which means you can convert it into int to double, double to int, float to double, float to int, string to double, etc, etc. And yes, and important note, don't forget to add semicolon at the end of any declaration, after any declaration. In the next video we will learn about operations in Java. And if you like this video, share with your friends and subscribe to Void Byte.